Coffee break. Today's tidbit.
All right, it's time for our weekdays coffee break. Today's tidbit, and joining us in the studio is Angela. Angela, hello to you.
Bonsoir.
Comme ça. Bonsoir. Is it night?
Well, yeah, it's night. It's
What's good evening in French? Is there no
bonsoir is the
overall
is the night. Bonjour is
day?
the morning.
Bonjour.
Yeah, bonjour is like morning. Good morning. Hi.
What about afternoon? Après-noon?
I don't know what they say in the afternoon, but I think they just say bonjour until the sun goes down.
Oh, I just know that like some people they just like greet you by saying ça va.
Yeah, ça va is how are you?
Right.
In that case, you can say comme ça.
And I go either bien, ça va bien, or comme ça. My favorite French word. Anyways,
Yes.
We're not going to be learning French. I don't even know why we got to French all of a sudden. But what's our tidbit today?
Do you pass a landmark on your way to work?
That's a good question. Oh my goodness. No.
You don't pass a landmark?
No, unless you consider the Seoul Arts Center a landmark, which I don't even pass by actually. I don't even go that far. I don't even go that far.
Go there.
No.
Really?
I have a very boring trip around back and forth from my house. None.
Can we say you're a true Seoul? Well, technically you don't live in Seoul, so
No, I don't live in Seoul. Yeah, I mean, I
Yeah.
pass by Seoul. There's no landmark near Sadang. No, nothing.
You're so shocked right now.
What am I doing right now? Where am I living?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, why do you ask though?
Well, I'm asking because I always get to see the National Assembly
Yes.
on my way to work.
Lucky you.
Yeah, and also, after work, it's very beautiful when you see it while crossing the Han River during the night.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You know what happens at midnight?
What?
It turns into Majenga jet.
Oh, yeah, I knew you were going to say that. Yeah.
Anyways, yeah. Oh, it's beautiful. I've driven by that area, the Olym픽대로.
Yes.
At night, and if you pass by Yeouido area, you do see that it's lit in a certain way that it's pretty beautiful.
Yes.
So, are we going to talk about the National Assembly?
We are.
We are?
Yeah. Well, more
Lovely,
accurately, we're going to be talking about the National Assembly building of South Korea. And, we just elected a new president last week.
Yes.
And I thought it might be interesting to talk about a government building. You know? And, what's better than the National Assembly?
Many.
Why? Because it's one of Seoul's distinct landmarks. Can
Yes.
you think of a government landmark?
A government,
Besides the Blue House.
which, I mean, right. Government building, the Sejong government complex.
Yeah, but is that a landmark?
It could be. Can it not be?
Do you know what it looks like?
No?
Exactly.
What? Oh, well, that's a good point. Yes,
Have
yes.
you
it
ever
is-
been to the National Assembly?
I've driven past by it. I've never been in
You've
it.
never been to it?
No.
Well, if you see it in person, it's actually really huge.
Okay.
It's actually the largest single parliamentary building in Asia.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Construction was completed in 1975, and the site itself spans over 330,000 square meters. That includes the main assembly hall that we are familiar with
Right.
and 6 additional buildings.
So if it was completed in 1975 and South Korea was around for longer than that,
Yes.
was it not always located in Yeouido then?
So, no, it wasn't in Yeouido. So, quick history lesson.
Love it.
In fact, it had quite a nomadic start. When the National Assembly first opened in 1948, it used the central government complex Jungangcheon in Gyeongbokgung.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, then during the Korean War, when the capital was temporarily moved to Busan, they held sessions in buildings like the Mudokgwan. Do you know what it is?
Is it originally a martial arts training hall?
Cheat. You cheated. Yes, it was originally a martial arts training hall, and they even held sessions in local theaters.
So like very makeshift basically.
Yes.
But considering the situation, I mean it's
Yeah.
reasonable.
Yeah, and then after the war, they moved to what is now the Seoul Metropolitan Council building. And during President Lee Seung-man's presidency, there was even a plan to build a new assembly near Namsan, but then came the 1961 military coup, and the project was cancelled entirely.
So 1975 was
Yes.
when it officially came to Yeouido. So let's
Yes.
talk about how it moved to Yeouido.
So in the 70s, the government decided to build a permanent structure in Yeouido, but like even that was not smooth. There was a lot of controversy during construction, and the biggest controversy was actually the now iconic dome.
What's so controversial about the dome?
So believe it or not, the National Assembly's iconic dome wasn't included in the original design. The original design was just a very, modern Western-style building. But then some lawmakers complained that what is a Western-style building without a dome? Because then it lacks grandeur. So midway through construction, lawmakers basically forced a dome into the design.
So, why did it have to look Western though?
So it was the 1970s, democracy was, they kind of figured it needed to be more grand, more Western to show that, Korea was a democratic country, it was being westernized
Yes.
quickly.
It's also the head of Majenga, by the way.
I was going to mention
at
that.
night. But so in the middle of the construction, they added the dome.
Yes, and the architects were not happy about it, obviously. So they actually tried to sabotage the idea by sketching a dome that was deliberately too large, hoping lawmakers would reject the idea. But it actually backfired. The politicians loved it, and eventually even President Park Chung-hee got involved and ordered the dome to be made taller. So
It's like SNL,
Yeah.
comedy sketch, basically.
Yes.
So wasn't the structure thrown off by all these changes
the
then?
building's proportions became awkward, and that's probably why some people jokingly say there's a secret hangar underneath the dome where a giant robot like Taekwon V
It's
is
Taekwon V.
stored.
Okay,
Yes.
not Majenga. Sorry,
Yes.
there's Taekwon V.
Yes,
my
it's like,
apologies.
I didn't hear about this urban legend actually. I
I've
didn't
heard
know
about it
about
all
it,
the
but our
time.
producer joked about it when I said I was going to talk about the National Assembly, so I looked it up.
I just know about this.
Yeah.
I just know that the National Assembly turns into Taekwon V at night,
Yeah.
right? So I guess the dome did become iconic eventually.
Yeah, ironically. And there was even talk in 2006 about painting it gold. But,
Oh, geez,
yeah,
no.
but the proposal was scrapped because the cost was too high. Yeah.
And also there are statues, right?
Yes.
Let's talk about these statues.
So in front of the dome is iconic, but there is also an iconic statue called a mythic Korean creature called Hete,
Yeah.
which resembles an ox or goat with thick dark fur covering its body, with bright eyes and a single long horn on its forehead. A female pair of Hete stand guard to ward off bad energy at the National Assembly.
Yeah, so we're sharing a picture of Hete, and a lot of people say different things, right?
Yes.
Some people say it's like a combination of like a lion and a dragon. Some people say other creatures as
Yes.
well. Hete is also I believe the mascot of Seoul City.
Yes.
And it's supposed to protect the city.
Yes.
This creature is supposed to protect the
Exactly.
what is it? The city. So let's talk about the traditional aspects, and you have
Well,
some fun facts in regards to
Yeah,
this.
so fun fact about that Hete, the statues were actually donated by Hete Confectionery. A
Oh.
confectionery in Korea called
Is that why it's called Hete?
No, that's not.
I know that Hete, the confectionery, is named because of that creature.
Yes, of course. Well, this Hete Confectionery, they bury 72 bottles of white wine underneath the statues as a time capsule to be opened in 2075, marking 100 years of democracy.
It's bad wine now. White wine doesn't last that long.
Yeah,
they should just
but-
put in some red wine.
It's still fun.
I mean, I'll drink it. I'll try it, but
Yeah.
we'll see how it goes. Anyways, we'll continue to talk about the interesting fact that is of the National Assembly. But first, let's take a listen to a song here from NCT 127 with Time Capsule. Bearing 72 bottles of these white wine. NCT 127 with Time Capsule. Junie says, gosh, I might be almost 90 years old when I could taste that wine in mystery. I don't.
Would you want to taste it though?
You might be 90 and that's it after you taste it. That might be the last age you're gonna see in your life. It's white wines don't last that long, and
Yes.
also it's not in a wine bottle. Apparently, it's in a jar. But I looked up some fun facts about that. But Don't want to try it. All right, so we've been talking about South Korea's National Assembly building. Besides the building itself, are there other reasons to visit the National Assembly?
Yes, of course. There's actually a museum on the premises, the National Assembly Museum.
Yeah, I heard about
yes,
that.
it opened in 1998 as the 국회 헌정기념관 Constitutional Memorial Hall and was renamed in 2022. It has several permanent galleries, a special exhibition hall, and even a National Assembly Experience Center.
So can anybody go then?
Yes, of course. It's officially a first-class national museum, so it's worth a visit even if you're not into politics.
What if you're not?
What if...
We're not. Can you still enjoy?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. And if you're into politics?
You can watch a National Assembly session in action.
Oh.
You can actually do that. So there are two ways to do that.
That's actually fun.
Yeah, it sounds fun, doesn't it?
A lot of fighting that goes on.
Well, no, because you can see democracy
Yes,
in action. But there are two ways to do that. First, there's 참관, where you visit the main hall when no session is happening, and anyone can book that online with simple ID verification.
Okay, and what's the second way?
The second way is 방청, where you actually watch a session while it's happening, and for that you need to request access through a local representative's office and follow a stricter protocol, but it's still possible.
Oh, okay. So that's different. 참관 and
Yes.
방청 is
Yes.
very different here. And I remember, what is it? Remember Jasmine Lee, who was the first naturalized
Yes.
lawmaker? I remember her doing like tours for like
Yeah.
expats and foreigners. So like foreigners could also visit
Yes,
too.
of course. And foreign visitors can tour the National Assembly. So, maybe put it into your schedule if you're planning on visiting Korea. And also, there are also multiple bus stops and literally a subway stop called 국회의사당역 on Line 9. So,
That's right.
Yeah, so it's very accessible.
So even though like it sounds like it's very restricted because it's a government
Yeah.
building and also, Taekwondo is protecting it, it's actually very accessible.
Yeah, and in fact, talking about accessibility, the assembly has gone through a big modernization to make it more convenient. Back in 2005, about 8.3 billion won was spent on digitizing everything. So now lawmakers vote and read bills through their own PCs, and even the nameplates are electronic.
Considering that this building was built first in 1975, and remember, Korea was a very different country back in
Yes.
1975. I mean, this is pretty advanced now.
Yeah, and and remember how I said earlier how beautiful it is to look at, on my way on the night on the subway. So they added the night illumination feature in 2007, so the building is now lit until 1 a.m. The lights on the front LED can display national symbols like the 태극기 and 무궁화 or hibiscus flowers during special sessions or holidays.
I didn't know that. Okay,
Yeah,
that's pretty
I've
cool.
never seen actually it with special lighting.
Yeah, neither have I. I mean, again, I've only seen it lit, and other than
Yeah.
that, I haven't really seen it. So, I mean, even at night, I mean, the building itself is making a statement.
Exactly, and even though it was once criticized for ruining the city skyline due to poor lighting, now it is actually an iconic part of Seoul's nightscape.
And not only is it an iconic building,
Yes.
again, you mentioned it before. So as I said, there's a lot of fighting that goes on at the National Assembly. No, you said no, that is democracy.
Yeah.
It is a symbol of Korea's democracy.
Yes, definitely. We don't even have to go that far back to find an example. The National Assembly was temporarily shut down and controlled by the military and police for the first time since May 17th, 1980, when former President Yoon Suk-yeol declared martial law last December. But lawmakers gathered quickly to overturn the decision in a democratic way. So, the building itself stands not just as a physical space or a landmark, but as a symbol of how Korean democracy has endured through, turbulence and transformation.
And for our listeners out there, in a rare case, you could actually check out
Oh God.
Taekwondo coming out from the dome like that.
Yeah, that's an urban legend. Apparently our producer loves that urban legend.
I believe it. I believe it. Taekwondo is doing a lot.
Why do you believe it? You can actually go in and you can see there isn't a taekwondo in the national.
I can't see it because I don't have a pure heart. Only those of the pure heart can see Taekwondo. If you can't see Taekwondo at night, it means you're not of pure heart, is what it is. But I do agree.
Is it like Santa Claus?
I'm just adding it to the myth that is the National Assembly. Angela, this is quite random, but I think this was very informative, and also I think there's going to be a lot of activity happening at the National Assembly with this new administration moving forward here. So great stuff. Thank you so much for this. Have a fantastic rest of your day.
You too.
All right, sending Angela out of the studio. Let's take a listen to a song here from Jenny with Soul City.
Coffee break. Today's tidbit.
All right, it's time for our weekdays coffee break. Today's tidbit, and joining us in the studio, Angela. Angela, hello to you.
Hi, SJ.
Oh, I was just gonna say, are you a bit lethargic today? But then your hi SJ didn't sound very lethargic.
Because I'm on air. I can't let my...
I feel a lot. I get a lot from the coffee break. Today's tidbit. Sometimes it's like coffee break. Today's tidbit. Sometimes it's coffee break. Today's tidbit.
I've never been that lethargic before.
I thought it was a lethargic. Maybe I thought it was because of the heat, but maybe it's not. How do you deal with this? Do you like summers?
No, I hate humidity.
Oh yeah.
I like warm weather. I just hate humidity. I like warm weather and dry weather.
Dry hot is not
Yeah.
bad. It's the humidity that
Yeah.
really it's terrible stuff. Maybe that's the reason why I've been very lethargic lately.
Maybe.
What's today's tidbit, Angela?
Well, you just mentioned it because the weather suddenly became hot this week. Although today was a little bit better, I felt like summer had really begun. And there's one dessert that Koreans really start craving when it gets hot, like
Beer.
dessert.
Oh. It can't be a dessert.
Yeah, I guess.
빙수야.
Yes.
빙수야.
Bingsu. Do you like bingsu?
I do. Original one, the 팥빙수.
팥빙수.
Because there's so many different 빙sus
Yes.
nowadays. I like the original. Yeah, let's talk. Are we gonna talk about 빙수?
Yes, we're going to talk all about bingsu today.
Very nice. Very nice.
So, for our listeners who may be unfamiliar with it, bingsu is basically shaved ice, but it's really so much more than just ice.
Sure.
You start with like finely shaved ice and then pile on toppings like sweet red beans, condensed milk, fruit, and duck or rice cakes and jelly. Everything. It can go from traditional to super modern in just one bowl. And the most traditional is 팥빙수, as you mentioned, with red beans on top. So you said that's your favorite.
It is my favorite.
Without like the milk.
The condensed milk?
No, like the milk shaved ice.
Oh. Good question. Good question. Because nowadays, with those franchise stores, they have the milk shaved ice, not the water shaved ice.
Yeah.
It does taste better with the milk.
Yeah.
I can do the water bingsu, like the real OG way.
Yeah.
But I would prefer the milk one.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Well, these days, bingsu is practically an art form.
It is.
Yes.
It's getting out of hand.
Yeah. Because some bingsu are really just too pretty to eat, but also it feels like modern art because some are getting really expensive that the phenomenon just feels like modern art itself.
Yeah. Are we gonna share some pictures?
Yeah,
by the
sure.
way, we have our first picture here. No, are we gonna get into it later? Oh, okay. Well, okay, so we're gonna talk. We'll look at it later on.
Yeah.
But you talked about how expensive it is.
Yes.
And I know that there's like one hotel.
Yes.
That's like infamous.
Yes.
I want to use the word infamous.
Infamous for its extremely expensive.
Yeah, so let's talk
bingsu.
about that.
So, like, the infamous hotel bingsu we were talking about is now costing nearly 150,000 Korean won. That's about $110 for one bowl of shaved ice.
About 10 years ago,
Yeah.
10 years ago, I remember I was on TV at Arirang doing a morning show, and we were talking about this. At the time, it was 10만 원, 100,000
Yeah.
won. So during that time, it went up 50,000 won,
Yeah.
which is ridiculous. But what goes in here? What goes in here that makes it so expensive?
So they say ingredients mostly, but also, the marketing and the atmosphere of being able to eat it at a hotel makes it expensive. And the photograph that we have is the Four Seasons Hotel Jeju Apple Mango Bingsu. That's 149,000 won. So this is the most famous and most expensive hotel bingsu we think of.
Ladies and gentlemen, here is look at the fancy pantsy utensils you even get. It's like gold.
Yeah, so no, it's not gold. It's like yugi. It's
Like brass?
yeah, Korean traditional.
Oh, okay. It
Yeah.
looks very golden. Look how pretty it is.
Yes, it's supposedly made with 2 whole premium Jeju mangoes. That's why it's so expensive.
But really though, 150,000 won for a dessert.
Well, you can share it with a friend.
Okay, so 75,000 won for dessert.
Well, yeah, it's not one portion, but yes, it is expensive. I agree. Last year, the same dish was 126,000 won, so it increased over 18% this year. But like the thing is, other hotels are following this trend.
Other hotels are doing
Yeah,
this?
so the Fairmont Ambassador to Seoul has set its apple mango bingsu price to 110,000 won this year. That's a 33.3% increase compared to last year. And some hotels even collaborate with luxury brands. The Grand Intercontinental launched a Belle Epoque champagne bingsu. We have a photo of this as well. This set includes actual champagne, granita, cheese, avocado slices, and milk ice. This one costs exactly 115,000.
Okay, so
150,000 won.
question here. the Perrier Jouet, this champagne,
Yeah.
you get a whole bottle with...
Yeah.
Is that a full size? It doesn't seem like a full size. That's got to be like a half size.
I think it's a half size.
Because a full size 750 milliliter champagne of that cost about 270,000 won.
Yeah.
So a half size would
But
be...
like I'm actually more concerned that the avocado slices are on top of the shaved ice. Like,
Why?
have you tried
No.
that? Would you want to?
No, I'm just looking at the champagne. I was like, forget about the avocados. Forget about the avocados.
So like basically these are like luxury meals, and what's
Yeah.
more surprising is that they are actually selling out. So these
selling out?
Yeah, so some say even if it were like 1.5 million won, people would still buy it. So people like me actually see it as peak capitalism. You eat what you can afford. But of
Yeah.
course, not everyone agrees. Some online commentators say that's more expensive than a round trip ticket to Japan and, call it all just for show.
We actually have one listener who actually paid 150,000 won. I knew she was rich. Na Pensoon said she tried it, won't do it anymore. But you did though. Like what? Like why would like?
I guess it's an experience.
Okay, that's a good point too. But then going back though, this saying that this is a luxury meal, but social debate. It's become a social debate. Like kind of going, would you be willing to eat this? Like, is it too much? Are hotels just getting out of hand? It's a social debate.
Yeah, so, one side people see it as a unique seasonal treat worth splurging on once a year. On the other, it raises questions about inequality and excessive luxury. But that's not the only kind of bingsu going viral these days.
Oh my goodness, what's going viral?
So while hotels are going premium, cafes are going casual and viral. Coffee chains like M, C, and E have started selling individual-sized cup bingsu for under 5,000 won.
Oh, Yang Gurung was just talking about that, and he was saying that it's like selling out and stuff like
so
that.
we have a photo of that as well. So this cup bingsu boom is all over social media. It became a sort of meme because, when one franchise went viral, the part-time workers working there said, guys, the e-coffee has way better cup bingsu, and it became a sort of hot potato game for the part-time workers, saying, the cup bingsu at that franchise is better, and now all 3 franchises are selling out with the individual size cup bingsu.
Is that your hand?
No, this isn't my photo. I haven't tried it actually.
But no, this is good. Competing to sell good but affordable.
Yes,
bingsu.
definitely. But it's not just about affordability. People, genuinely like them. Especially M Coffee's Popping Gelato, which is an old school red bean style in a cup. Something you might like, SJ, has already sold 1.2 million units this season alone.
Wow. I mean, come on, guys. 5,001, 150,001. That's drastic difference there.
Yeah, and it shows just how wide the bingsu market has become. The overall bingsu market in Korea is now worth over 500 billion won annually, so I guess there's space for both luxury and budget.
That's right.
Yeah.
Made It Up says diabetes in a cup. It's actually not as sweet as you think it is.
it's not, it's actually really a healthy dessert than compared to others.
As long as you don't put too much of the condensed milk. There's a lot of sugar in condensed milk. All right, we're going to continue to talk about this. Man, I would have liked to hear the Yoon Jong-shin song, but instead we'll listen to this is a good song too. Agnew with Bean Duck Bingsu or Kong Duck Bingsu. We're talking about bingsu. Magic Crazy over in Shy City when we saw that mango, that looks like bingsu flavored mango. Yeah, it just looks like mango, right? Paulina says in New Malden, I paid £9 and it's delicious. £9? That's not bad.
That's not really bad.
Yeah, if you go to like some of the franchise stores here in Korea, like
it can get really expensive.
Oh yeah, and because like you add stuff and stuff. We talked about the modern bingsu trends. Let's go back, okay? Backtrack a bit here. Where did bingsu even come from?
So bingsu, it's shaved ice, so basically it will have ancient roots. Right?
Yes.
Yeah, as long as people had ice. So, in fact, the earliest known version of shaved ice dates back to 3000 BCE in China. There are records about people mixing crushed ice with honey and fruit juice. And, even in the West, there are records of Alexander the Great mixing snow with honey and fruit for his soldiers. So basically, people were eating versions of bingsu.
I mean, they probably went like, what is this? Ice. Oh, it's cold. But it doesn't taste like anything.
Shave it.
Yeah. But, it's too hard to bite into ice. Let's shave this and put some flavors. So bingsu is basically ancient saved.
Yeah.
It sounds weird. Ancient saved ice. Yeah.
Yeah, but in the Roman Empire, Emperor Nero is said to have enjoyed snow from the Alps with honey and wine. And basically it evolved, and we come to the 19th century when Japan also had its own version called kakigori, which became popular with the invention of ice machines. And but this version is more like slushies that people in the US eat. And here's the thing, a slushie is not a bingsu.
I loved slushies. I loved slushies when I was a little kid. So it has history then.
Yes, basically because refrigerators didn't exist in the past, storing ice was something only royals or elites could afford. So eating bingsu in the summer was a total luxury, kind of like how it can be a luxury these days,
So, Let's also talk about how like Korea's bingsu then developed.
Yeah, so Korea's bingsu evolved uniquely, making it a unique Korean dessert. So during the Joseon dynasty, they used ice from the royal ice storage called seobingo, and then actually made fruit top desserts or crushed ice bowls back then.
Okay, so now it's starting to really shape form right now. It's starting to look more and more like the bingsu that we know.
Yeah.
But how did it become what we know today
So modern bingsu really took shape in the 20th century. The classic pop bingsu, which we immediately think of when we say bingsu with, the red beans and the condensed milk, gained huge popularity because of a franchise back then. Then in the 2000s, fusion versions with the mango and everything else emerged thanks to franchise dessert shops like Seolbing, which are famous overseas now as well.
I remember when they first came out. It was like impossible to order anything because there was so many people.
Yeah, and that's when we saw bingsu made with milk ice, matcha, cheese, tiramisu, you name it. Everything can be topped on top of bingsu.
Again, I like to keep it traditional. But what about yourself? Like, is there any like particular one that you tried that you really enjoyed?
I personally like 눈꽃 bingsu or snowflake style bingsu.
Okay, so it's like softer?
Yes.
Okay.
So this was first made popular by a place called Miltap. My mom took me there when I was
My
really
wife
young.
loves this place.
Yeah, so this is basically traditional pop bingsu, but with more softer ice, shaved ice. They use ultra-fine milk-based ice, so it melts like snow in your mouth. And, after this trend came the fruit bingsu explosion. Hotels started combining this style with seasonal fruit like strawberries and, the now famous apple mango bingsu. Some foreigners came to Korea, saw bingsu for the first time, and called it like a frozen sundae.
It's a little bit different from a sundae in that it doesn't use ice cream, right, per se. But it's is this from?
I think this is
No, this is from somewhere else. I think there's. Oh my goodness, I forgot.
But here's a photo of like the traditional like pop bingsu.
And they put the two ducks in the top.
Yes.
It looks so simple. But
it's really good.
No, it really is. And so like they give you on the side condensed milk that you can control because if you put too much of it, it's too sweet. You could control the sweetness. But yeah, I mean, this all really makes a whole lot of sense.
Yeah, and in fact, back in the 1990s, Korean bakeries sold frozen sundae as a menu item, but it later disappeared as fruit bingsu and pop bingsu emerged. Bingsu really is the most famous and the most loved Korean dessert.
You know what I actually bought from the convenience store the other day? There's the pop bingsu ice cream.
Yeah,
that you
is.
could that's in a cup.
Yes.
It's very old school, and then you put milk in it instead of condensed milk, and then you mix it because it uses like actual ice, so it's not as good. But you put milk in it, it's pretty good here. I mean, guys. And so many different kinds of bingsu, really.
Yeah, exactly. And, you can even make bingsu at home. All you need is crushed ice and your favorite toppings. A lot of Koreans also keep small bingsu machines at home now. I had one growing up, and, it was like a summer ritual for my dad and I to make one on the weekends. So maybe you should try it with your son.
I might.
Yeah, it's a good ritual.
He does like bingsu.
So bingsu can be a luxury these days, but I think we should remember it's loved so much because it is a simple dessert and it can be enjoyed at home.
Absolutely. And I love how Angela had me to read this to close things off. We ran out of bingsu songs, so here's an ice cream song for you. Angela, thank you so much for this. We'll see you again tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
Here is Blackpink with Selena Gomez with Ice Cream.
Coffee break. Today's tidbit.
All right, it's time for our weekdays coffee break. Today's tidbit, and joining us in the studio, Angela. Angela, hello to you.
Hi, SJ.
Angela, what is our tidbit for today?
Have you ever heard of something called EGOT?
No. What?
EGOT.
EGOT?
EGOT. You've never heard of it?
Never heard of EGOT.
I thought you would have heard of it.
What is EGOT?
So EGOT is a pretty big deal in the American entertainment industry.
Oh, that's why I don't know.
Oh, okay. So it stands for Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, and Tony.
Okay.
The four major awards in television, music, film, and theater. And when someone wins all four, they're said to have achieved an EGOT.
Oh,
yes. So
okay.
it's like the grand slam of show business in the U.S. And only 27 people in history have done it, including big names like Elton John and the musical theater legend Andrew Lloyd Webber.
It would be pretty rare. Right,
Yeah.
because they're all very different awards in
Exactly.
the entertainment, especially like the Tony would be the hard one.
Exactly.
Because that's only given to the musicals, which is why names like Andrew Lloyd Webber, very famous musical.
Well, Tony's is also for theater as well.
Yeah.
So, but someone to win a Grammy and a Tony would be really difficult. Yes.
And Oscar, okay, Emmy, Grammy. Yeah, Grammy and Tony would be a very, very different, difficult one.
Exactly.
But, sorry, did you just take this out just to show how uncultured I am? Why is it? What is today's tidbit?
So this connects with today's tidbit because do you remember how I mentioned the Korean musical Maybe Happy Ending a few weeks ago?
I think you did.
Yes, so maybe happy ending. Korea, though, not a single person, just achieved EGOT status as a nation, thanks to maybe happy ending.
Yeah, I saw this in the news.
Yeah, the musical won 6 Tony Awards on June
nuts.
9th, including Best Musical. And this marks a major milestone for Korean musical theater on the world stage. And for people who might be unfamiliar, the Tonys are basically the Oscars of the theater world. So today I thought we'd dive into maybe happy ending and what this moment means for Korean musicals.
Guys, to win the best musical at the Tony Awards,
That's huge.
It's incredible. Some of the
Yes.
biggest names musical. You think about Cats, right? Which I still think Cats is a weird musical. Just a bunch of cats meowing and stuff like that.
What have you watched Cat?
I didn't watch it, but I know what it's about. It's just like,
You
it's
haven't
scary.
watched it because it's not just about meowing. What are you talking about?
They don't meow? They talk?
You just proved that you haven't listened to a single number in Cats.
I didn't.
You don't even know.
No, I do. No, I do. Memory. I do
yeah.
know. No, that I know. So they sing?
Yes.
They don't just meow?
It's a musical. What would you? But
But anyway, Rent,
Yeah.
Rent,
Rent
Lion
is
King.
good.
Rent is good.
yeah,
Rent is actually
my favorite is the Phantom of the Opera.
good. Phantom of the Opera.
And yeah.
That's a good one. I didn't watch it live. I saw the the video version of it. I didn't see it at the theater.
Oh, so you saw
Like a taped version of the theater.
not the film.
Not the film, not the
Okay,
film.
okay.
So they used to, like all the famous like musicals, if they're big, like they'll film it and then you could watch it and things
Yeah.
like that. But yeah, I mean, this is incredible though to
Yeah.
win 6 Tony Awards. And this is a Korean musical.
Yeah, and so to, just go over how Korea is now EGOT, Korean artists had already brought home other major trophies. So soprano Cho Sumi won a Grammy in 1993. Parasite topped the Oscars in 2020, and Squid Game made history with Emmys in 2022. And so now Maybe Happy Endings Tonys, Korea has officially completed the EGOT circle.
Let's talk about it again, and because I mean, this is a historic moment. I mean,
Yes.
it's one thing to win 1.
Yes.
It's one thing to do 2, but 6 Tony Awards. Let's
Yes.
talk about what Maybe Happy Ending is about again.
So for people like you who might not remember
Yes.
what it is, the musical Maybe Happy Ending is
Okay.
a heartwarming original musical that tells the story of 2 outdated helper robots,
Yeah, yeah.
Oliver and Claire, who've been abandoned by their human owners. The 2 meet by chance and slowly develop a connection and go on a journey that explores what it means to be loved and loved.
Yeah, and then I remember saying Wally or something like
Yes.
that. Yeah, okay, I
Yes.
remember it now. Okay, so it sounds like the musical itself had quite a journey as well.
Definitely. It premiered in Seoul's Daeangno in 2016. I saw it then. And has since been revived multiple times, both in Korean and English, in Korea and overseas. The original Korean cast included Chun Mi-do and Chung Mun-sung, who later rose to stardom thanks to Hospital Playlist. But the real driving force behind the show is the writer-composer duo of this musical.
Okay, so tell us who they are.
The show is co-created by Korean lyricist Hugh Park and American composer Will Aronson. They met while studying at NYU and set out to create a story that would resonate across cultures, as Maybe Happy Ending has proven. After collaborating on several smaller works, Maybe Happy Ending became their breakout hit.
So how did, I mean, it's a long journey, but how did
Yes.
it eventually, because making it to a Broadway,
It's huge.
it is huge. So how
Yes.
did he make it to the Broadway?
So after, premiering in Korea, the show had its American premiere in Atlanta in 2020, where they looked for U.S. producers. And fast forward to 2024, the musical opened on Broadway, earning 10 Tony nominations and eventually winning 6.
That's crazy.
It is.
Oh my goodness. So we know about the original Korean
Yes.
version, but what about the Broadway version? Like, who starred in this?
So Darren Criss, who many Koreans know from Glee.
Glee.
Have you watched it?
I know Glee.
Yeah. So
I refuse to watch Glee. I refuse to
Yes.
watch Glee.
So Darren Criss played Oliver and won his first Tony for Best Lead Actor in a musical for Maybe Happy Ending. He's also the first, I believe, Asian American to win a Tony for Best Lead Actor. And Claire was played by Helen J. Shen.
Okay, so I remember, again, you were saying that they won so many other awards.
Yes. So before the Tonys, it picked up honors at the Outer Critics Circle Awards and the Drama League Awards. So the buzz had been building.
The musical, again, like you said, I mean, it clearly resonated with the people. It's one thing to be good, but it needs to resonate to the audience, the people who watch
Absolutely.
this.
So what's really special is how the Broadway version kept Korean elements intact, like scenes set in Jeju Island and the use of fireflies, which is very important in the original. And, fans loved that they kept the Korean version. They didn't just, just
Wow, like
revamp it.
put it in like Hawaii or
yeah,
something
exactly.
like that.
So it's not just a musical success. It's, really a cultural moment for Korea.
That's cool. And I feel like, I mean, it really does promote Jeju Island.
Yes.
And maybe people who watch this and go like, all right, I want to check out Jeju Island. And of course, if you want to check out fireflies, there's another area that's
Yeah.
famous for fireflies. So where does this fit into the broader story of Korean musicals,
So
though?
Korea's been trying to break into Broadway for decades. I talked about this a while back, but The Last Empress, Myeongseong Hangul, was the first original Korean musical to be staged in New York back in 1997. And then came Hero, or Yeongwon, about independence fighter An Jung-gun. Hero was also made into a musical film a few years back. So yeah, there have been efforts to, go into Broadway for Korean musicals.
Yeah, I mean, again, I've heard all of this, never had a chance to watch any of those.
Yes. Neither managed to secure long Broadway ones or major success abroad. And, for a long time, Korean theaters mainly brought in licensed Western shows.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot, right? I mean, but then, we even talked about some of the other success stories when it comes to musicals and what is it? Great Gatsby.
Yes.
Which is going to be coming to Seoul soon, by the way. We'll continue to talk about this musical and, of course, the success that's building up here. But we talked about the original Korean version
Yes.
and then you talked about Chun Mi-do and Chung Mun-sung
Yes.
being part of this. We're going to listen to the original soundtrack from this very musical. This is Chun Mi-do and Chung Mun-sung with When You're in Love, 사랑이란. a OST from the musical Maybe Happy Ending 전문성 and 전미도 with When You're in Love 사랑이란. If you caught the little piece there, Angela was really, really shocked at all the opportunities that I had.
So we were talking about musicals and, about all the musicals I'd watched, and he said, SJ knew a musical actor that I really liked.
Oh, you were a big fan?
Yes.
So I was telling her I was given tickets to Chicago.
And
I didn't
Hedwig.
go, and then Hedwig, and then I said, well, Lisa was in it, and then I was like, do you know Lisa? She was like, yes.
Of course I know.
I mean, yeah, I knew her, and then was offered tickets, and I was just like, thanks.
Hedwig is amazing. I love Hedwig.
No, I heard great things about Hedwig, but again, I'm very uncultured, and I just had bad experiences with musicals.
It can happen.
But we're talking about Great Gatsby. Great Gatsby. Oh, our producer also knows Lisa. She
Lisa,
was
not Blackpink Lisa.
no, not Blackpink Lisa.
Yes,
the original Lisa.
The musical actor
She was
Lisa.
wasn't she not a host here at Arirang many years ago? I think she was also a host
really?
here.
I didn't know that.
This was a long time ago. But anyways,
Yes.
we're talking about The Great Gatsby, and this is something that a lot of people that don't know. This was a Korean-produced
Yes.
musical.
Yes, in 2024, The Great Gatsby musical, people don't know, it was made by Korean producers. It won the Tony for Best Costume Design, but was criticized for lacking depth. And also, the musical Mary Curie was a Korean production, a debut on London's West End in 2024. So there have been, efforts to go into Broadway and West End continuously.
There was a musical on Madame Marie Curie?
Yeah.
Wow. What did she sing about?
Well,
Plutonium. I've been exposed to plutonium. My hair. What? Well, this is cool. All right. This is and London's West End. I know that it's a very it's like it's Broadway for
Yes.
England. But what sets Maybe Happy Ending apart?
Well, the biggest difference is that it wasn't spearheaded by a production company, but by the original creators themselves. Hugh Park and Will Aronson developed this show from scratch and maintained creative control, overseeing every detail. So I think a lot of this gave the musical emotional depth and authenticity that connected with global audiences.
So we're talking about Hugh Park and Will Aronson, right? I mean,
Yes.
again, the writers of the musical. But what else did they have worked on in the
Well,
past?
so
though?
if you're interested in their musicals, they've had a long and rich collaboration here in Korea. Their first major project was bungee jumping of their own, 번지 점프를 하다 in 2012. Do you know this?
No, this is an interesting title.
Oh, it's adopted from the Korean film. You don't know this film? It stars Lee Byung-hun.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so it's a really moving story that explores love, identity, and time. I'm shocked that you haven't even heard of it.
I like Lee Byung. I watched a lot of Lee Byung-hun's movie. Why did I not ever hear about this? This is weird.
I really like
And
this
2012 was when I was watching a lot of movies
Oh,
too.
so the musical came out then.
Oh, okay,
yes,
okay,
the movie came out way
Long
before,
time ago.
yes.
Okay, maybe that's why. Okay. All right. So, I mean, this is pretty cool.
Yeah, and since then, the duo has tackled everything, from retro musicals to sci-fi, horror, romance. And, some of their other works include Ghost Bakery and more recently, Il Tenore. Does that last one ring a
I've heard
bell?
of it.
Yes.
Don't ask me if I watched it. I've heard of it, though.
Do you know why you've heard of it?
What, did we talk about it?
Brooke? Do you remember Brooke?
Of course I remember Brooke.
Brooke from Korea
Oh,
Now.
is that what she was in?
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness, Brooke. I'm so sorry.
I am putting you on the spot so many times today.
I'm so sorry. That's
Yes.
right. She was on El Tenore.
Yes.
Oh, my goodness.
So yeah, Maybe Happy Ending has been shaping Korean musical theater, very quietly but powerfully. And their influence on Korea has been growing for over a decade. They've shown that Korean musicals can be original, emotionally rich, and internationally competitive.
I think it took time.
Yes.
Koreans are very good with this, especially with the aesthetics.
Yes.
It used to be that many Korean costume designers, for instance, were winning awards and things like that. But
Yeah.
now it's time that an actual production itself
Yes.
wins awards. So what's next for the Korean musicals after this big win now? I mean, because it sets the stage now,
Yeah,
right?
definitely. This moment, opens the door for more Korean stories on global stages. And, it shows audiences that, are ready for Korean musicals that are culturally rooted but universally relatable. And, hopefully we'll see more creator-driven works like Maybe Happy Ending take off internationally.
And if someone wants to explore Korean musicals more deeply, where do they go? Daehangno?
Yes, Seoul's Daehangno, as I mentioned earlier, is the theater district in the heart of the scene. It stretches about 1.6 kilometers from Chungno-oga to Haeadong and has over 150 theaters in that span in that area. On weekends, it becomes a car-free cultural zone, and it's a great place to watch performances, hang out in Maronie Gongwon, which is iconic for Daehangno, and you can really feel Korea's creative stage scene.
And there are some places where they offer free admissions to these theaters.
Yes.
I remember going to a lot of the free theaters back in the days. Very quickly here, can people still catch maybe Happy Ending somewhere?
Yes, the Broadway production is still running in an open run with tickets available through January 17th, 2026. And in Korea, a special 10th anniversary production is scheduled to run from late October this year to January next year, although casting hasn't been announced yet, so we have that to look forward to.
All right, we'll get more information for you from Coffee Break, today's tidbit as always. Angela, thank you very much for your tidbit. Have a fantastic rest of your night. We'll see you again tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
All right, sending her out of the studio. Let's take a listen to a song here from Im Sang-ah with Musical. All right, it's time for our weekdays coffee break. Today's tidbit, and joining us in the studio is Angela. Angela, hello to you.
Hi, SJ.
Angela, let's go into our random tidbit today. What do you have for us?
Would you say you're a foodie?
I am a foodie. Look at me. What kind of question is that?
Well, then would you be up for traveling just for food?
Like within the country or like out of the country?
Oh, both.
Well, actually, they're both right.
Yeah.
I would if I had the time.
Oh, really?
If I had the time and the money, I would do so.
Well,
Why do you
because
ask?
A lot of places are holding food festivals before the real summer heat kicks in these days. So today I thought I'd share some fun regional food festivals happening all around Korea the next few days. So, perfect for a little weekend trip or even a staycation if you're nearby.
I love food festivals. I'm just sounding fatter and fatter. I enjoy going to these places. So where should we start? I feel like there's going to be so many that we can't go through all of them in one episode.
Yeah, we're going to be just mentioning one that are happening this weekend or like soon in June. So let's kick off with Goyang City in Gyeonggi-do Province. On June 14th, they're hosting their very first Ilsan Yeolmu Food Festival.
Because it's Trump's birthday.
What does that have to do with it?
No, I don't know. Yeolmu Festival is Ilsan famous for yeolmu, which is radish, right? Like radish kimchi.
Yes. So, interestingly, yeolmu or young radish is one of Korea's summer delicacies. For people who haven't tasted it, it's crunchy, it's peppery, it's very refreshing.
That's the key word there. It's refreshing. My mother-in-law, a couple of weeks ago, she sent over some yeolmu kimchi. It's so refreshing.
My mom too. She sent over yeolmu kimchi.
Oh, mine was from Daegu too. Mine was from Daegu too.
Daegu에서 봤어 yeolmu kimchi.
It is so. Oh my goodness. Our producer. Is it like yeolmu kimchi?
Yeah,
It is.
It is season for yeolmu. That's why they're also holding this festival.
Okay.
So the whole event is themed around cool and zesty summer vibe. There's going to be free tastings of yeolmu guksu, kimchi making experiences, and performances by local artists, and a famous YouTuber from Goyang will be live streaming the event online.
yeolmu guksu is so good.
Yes.
You know when you make a very good yeolmu kimchi, and like the water that forms with it, it's not very sour. It's perfectly sour.
I just like to drink it on its own.
You just need to put the guksu, right?
Yeah.
The noodle in there, and that's yeolmu kimchi right there. I mean, yeolmu guksu right there. It's beautiful stuff.
Perfect.
And I guess when most festivals like this, it's family friendly as well?
Yes, definitely. They also have natural dyeing activities using yeolmu. I didn't know yeolmu could be used as a natural dye, but yes, they do that. And there's even a t-shirt making station for kids and families. And also local restaurants nearby will roll out special yeolmu-based dishes as part of the festival. So it is a full-on community effort.
What color does it dye? Do you know?
I'm not sure. I think it's like a earthy green.
Oh, okay. That's again. Of all the festivals, I guess it's because it's in season.
Yes.
All of us.
I thought it was just, really, you wouldn't expect there to be a food festival at yeolmu, so I thought it was worth mentioning. It sounds fun.
No, it's delicious.
Yes.
It really is. What else is happening around the country?
Well, head east to Donghae City in Gangwon-do Province, and you will find something completely different, the Norto Osam Paran Festival.
I don't know what that means.
The name is short for Playful Saturday with 오삼불고기.
Oh, 노는 토요일.
Yes. So the first festival happened last week on June 7th, but it's happening again on June 14th.
Oh, because of Trump's birthday.
Oh my God. Are you like Trump's #1 fan?
No, it's not. He's having a big thing with the military parades for his birthday, so that's why. So 오삼불고기. 오삼불고기 is delicious, by the way. It is delicious. It's a combination of squid, the red squid, marinated, spicy red marinated squid, and pork belly too.
Yes, exactly. True foodie.
Yes.
Yes, it's a specialty from the Mukho port area, and during the festival, the local community will actually grill it live for everyone outdoors. But it's not just a food event, it's actually a cultural project. So the city of Donghae created it to breathe life back into the older Palhan district. That's why it's called Nortosan Paran Festival. This district has seen a decline in foot traffic and local business.
Yeah, so I'm a big fan of festivals, whatever festival it may be, not just food festival, but food festival is good because many people like food festival. The big thing is to revitalize these small towns, small villages, and these neighborhoods, right?
Absolutely. And it's working. Good news. Just last weekend on the first day of the event, over 500 people gathered in the open-air plaza of Donghae's EC Central Market for the opening night. The square, which used to be empty after 6 p.m., was filled with music, food, and laughter from people of all ages.
Donghae is a great place to go to, by the way. I love the East Coast. So what goes on here? Are we just like eating 오삼불고기?
Yes, well, 오삼불고기 is, of course, very famous. The festival last week, in fact, was so packed that 300 servings of it sold out within 90 minutes. But, like, it gets better. The food is paired with an EDM party. While eating.
That's a weird combination.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. That's a really weird combination. But I like EDM.
Yeah.
Sounds like the vibe is pretty nice there.
And it's more than just food. They have interactive zones using color therapy. Like you scan a QR code and get a personalized energy color, which matches you with a specific dish. So yeah. And you can also follow other QR codes to tour community projects like galleries and cafes around the neighborhood. So they're just, really trying to revitalize the, neighborhood with festival culture and all this technology. So I think it's creative.
I feel like, I hope there's no food that matches me that I'm going to get offended by.
Oh, what would you get offended by?
Like if they say like samgyeopsal or something like that, things like that, I'd be like, oh my goodness, what are you trying to say?
Why would you get offended by it?
Because it's pork.
What do you like? Would you be not offended if they, I don't know, paired you with yarmu?
Yarmu?
Yeah. Wouldn't it be nice to be paired with the food you like?
I do. I guess. Okay, fine. I'll be okay with samgyeopsal. But this all sounds very creative, and again, to revitalize the area there, that's the most important thing. But what else is happening there?
In Hanam, Gyeonggi-do Province, from June 13th to 15th, there's the 2025 Korea Memorial Food Festa. This is a commemorative event for Korea's 80th liberation anniversary, and it has got a very special concept, remembering history through food.
Okay, does sound very, very thoughtful. And again, I think we mentioned this before. June is a very special month here in Korea when it comes to history, democracy, and things like that. What's it like?
So there will be food from the 22 UN countries that fought in the Korean War, as well as dishes made by local small businesses and chefs. One highlight is a cooking showdown by two celebrity chefs who were on the show, 흑백 요리사, and they're each creating dishes inspired by historical independence activists.
That's real cool.
Yes.
It's a really good way to connect history and cuisine at the same time.
And there's also going to be a drone show featuring figures like Kim-gu and Yoon Bong-gil as chefs.
As chefs?
Yes. It's meant to be playful reinterpretation. The drones will depict these figures cooking and tasting food. And the event also includes picnic zones, food trucks. So there's something for everyone.
So is there anything more local for people who don't want to travel too far from Seoul, maybe?
Definitely. And we'll get into it after a break.
Goodness. All right, we talked about food. What a song to play here. Momoland and Nati Natasha with Yummy Yummy Love. Then Nati Natasha. Bruce Paget. Bruce says, adults should be forbidden to say yummy yummy.
Yummy yummy in my tummy. I always say that to my cousin.
How old is your cousin?
She's now 15, but like when she came to
You used to, right?
Yeah.
You used
like
to,
when she was a
right?
7-year-old, she wouldn't eat. So I was like, yummy, yummy in my tummy.
Even my 1-year-old doesn't say yummy. She just goes.
Because she doesn't speak.
No, I told her that. When you have like something good, I go. She does that all the time. We've been talking about food festivals nationwide, and before the break, you were talking about local options for people here in the capital, Seoul. What do you have in mind then?
So Gwanakgu,
Oh, not so far,
from,
not so far.
And Seoul is hosting a series of neighborhood festivals all June, and one of them is the Shinsa Mashulin, like Shinsa and Michelin, food event on June 14th.
Is it because it's Trump's birthday? Wait, hold on, though. But Shinsa, though, as in like gentleman, right? Because it gets very confusing because Shinsa is also a neighborhood in Gangnam area.
Yes.
And so it's in Gwanakgu. This is a pretty Shinsa Market
Yes.
area. Is that what it is?
Yes, so it's being held along the Shinsa.
Yes, I got her. I got her.
I'm sorry, it's being held along the Shinsa Market area.
Okay.
And they're bringing together top dishes from local restaurants into one street event. There will also be pop-up eateries, games, and light installations, so it turns the street into a mini food and culture street fair.
So if you go to Gwanakgu, right, especially like the Shadow-sukil Sukil area, where like it's a lot of like food, like good restaurant places, and it's very, very affordable as
Yes.
well. But what can people find there in the Gwanak area?
So the event runs from 3 to 9 p.m. Yeah, you can head there after a chill Saturday, and it's part of Gwanak's broader effort to support small businesses and revive local alleys again. So showing up means you're supporting your neighborhood as well.
Okay, so even though again, Gwanak area, because of a lot of the college students, right? It's a popular area, but since number one, COVID-19,
COVID,
and then
definitely.
also the economy, we've been talking about how it's all the small businesses that have been closing down, and those areas have been affected heavily
Yes.
by this. To launch a festival in order to kind of revitalize the economy, this is pretty cool here. Let's see, what other last stop to make on the weekend then?
If you're down to travel a bit further south, you can go to my home city, Daegu. They're throwing two big food festivals this weekend on June 13th and 14th, one in Donggu and the other in Pukgu.
Okay, I know the one big food festival that I know about in Daegu is the Chimek
chicken,
Festival,
yes,
right?
But
the
that
Chimek
happens like
later
in
on.
midsummer.
Yeah, it's when it's like super hot.
Yeah, maybe I'll be able to talk about it later.
But it's other festivals to check out
Yes.
there. So what can you do?
So in Donggu this weekend, the Omirak Festival or Five Flavors Festival is happening. Can you name the 5 flavors?
Oh gosh, sweet,
Yes.
savory, salty,
Yes.
bitter,
Yes.
sour.
Yes. One more. You left out one.
Oh my goodness, like omija tea,
But technically, this 5th one isn't a flavor.
It's not.
It's technically pain.
What?
Technically pain.
What is it?
Spicy.
Oh.
So
That's like
basically,
the easiest
yeah,
one.
yes,
Okay, okay.
The festival celebrates sweet, salty, sour, bitter, and spicy. Although the 5th one isn't a taste technically. Features dishes with chicken, duck, lotus roots, yeongun, Korean water parsley binari samgyeopsal, and mountainers sancheori, which are all food that represent the area of Donggu. And there will be cooking shows, a food culture quiz, a DJ party, and even a live cook-off led by celebrity chef Oh Se-deuk.
I love minari. I love
Oh
it.
yeah, me too.
I absolutely love it. And lotus root yeongun is one of my favorite banchans. I did not know this area was very famous for this stuff. It's really good. I mean, it sounds very gourmet, given the fact that Ose is a very famous chef.
Yes. I also love minari, so great season to hold food festivals.
Yeah.
And if you go to Pukgu, then you've got the 떡크닉, like tteokbokki and picnic, which is a tteokbokki-themed retro picnic. Tteokbokki is my favorite food, so if I was in Daegu, I would definitely go. The whole thing is filled with old-school vibes, like the old metal tables. You can see food trucks, and then they even hold classic Korean games like marbles and tegi-tagi.
There's a famous tteokbokki in Daegu, right? What is it? The
Shinjeonhaemen,
yeah. It's famous. I think they franchised it, but they always say
Go to the original.
Yeah, as my wife always says, you have to go to Daegu and eat
Yes.
it. It doesn't taste the same there. What events are happening there?
So this sounds fun. There's a program called 떡볶이는 핑계고, 떡볶이 is just an excuse, and they will hold a retro-style social mixer where singles can meet through food and games. Like apparently a lot of areas these days are really concerned with younger people being single. So food festivals are even, chipping into this. And of course, there will be photo zones, lots of performances, and even eco-conscious freebies like recycled mat giveaways. So if you're in the area, check it out.
I mean, you can't lose, right? I mean, if you don't end up not finding anybody in this event, then you still have very
good food.
That you could check out. So a lot of great food festivals just this weekend. It's not even just about food anymore.
Exactly. It's about food, community, even history, as we mentioned, and dating. So, whether you want EDM with your 오삼 불고기 or, a drone show about independence fighters as chefs, there is really something for everyone.
Yeah, again, I think for our listeners out there, there are so many food-related festivals all throughout the country that's happening. It really is very difficult to list them, but I think this was very unique.
Yes, I tried to find the most unique ones.
I'll be honest with you, you give me 100 tries, and I've never guessed that 열무축제 was going to be one of them, right? All right, Angela, thank you so much for introducing some of the fun food festivals to check out, and have a fantastic rest of your evening. We'll see you again tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
All right, sending her out of the studio. Let's take a listen to a song here from To Us with the last festival, 마지막 축제. And it's Fire Friday here at the Young. She was good, right? I mean, she was a little bit shy in the beginning, and then she busted out her moves, right? You just need to push her a little bit, right? It was the dance off that I think really ignited her. I hope you guys enjoyed the. It's Friday. Who says Friday the 13th has to be scary and bad luck? Well, I mean, watching me dance is pretty bad luck, guys. I'm sorry. I apologize for that.
Coffee break. Today's tidbit.
All right, it's time for our weekdays coffee break. Today's tidbit. Joining us in the studio is Angela. Angela, hello to you.
A up.
So
I really want to know what it actually sounds like.
So Angela and I, we had an interesting discussion because Kai, who's over in Doncaster, and this is what people in Leeds also say when they say hello. They say "a up."
But like, I don't know what the pronunciation is.
Right. So Angela was saying, how do they sound when they say "a up"? Because if I say "a up," it sounds New York.
Yeah,
it looks very New York. And so, how did you do it?
A up, mate.
"A up, mate." That's Australian. "A up, mate."
Wait, don't the like British people say mate as well?
Do they?
Yeah, they
I mean, they
do.
do say mate, but then
Yeah.
like they don't go like "a up, mate."
That's the thing. I have never heard a British person say a up.
I mean, no, I've seen it all the time. But okay, so this is how it has to work, right? Oh yeah, our
Might.
producer, because he studied in Australia, it's might.
Might.
I up might.
Yeah, I do know.
Aye.
So Australians, so tidbit, Australians have like someone said it's smashed vowels. So they have might and and I.
Ay, crikey.
Yeah, they have like smashed vowels in it, so it's slightly different.
Okay, so the only way we can solve this mystery is Kai.
Yeah.
Kai, you have to send like a video or audio.
Yeah.
Best to send an audio video, I guess, of the proper A up.
It's just so.
Because I remember when I went to Leeds, it's like it sounds like proper English. In London, the accent wasn't very long, very like strong, right? So it's like I up, I up, Kai. No, would that be a proper way? Send it, Kai, please. Send us like a recording of how to properly say A up, because when I say A up, it sounds very New York. All right, that's not our tidbit for today. Really random stuff
Yes.
today. What is our tidbit?
It's related to convenience stores. Do you go to them often?
Oh yeah, I have a big convenience store right at the first floor of my apartment.
Oh,
so
and you
all
go
the
there
time.
often. What do you usually buy?
What do I always buy? Pokemon cards.
They sell Pokemon cards?
Yes.
Oh.
My son's always big on that stuff. Like what is it like? Juice, coffee, soda pops, stuff like that. Oh, ice cream. Ice cream all the time is winter.
Would you then consider, going before 10 a.m. just to buy a drink? Like line up in front of.
No, I'm not gonna line up. No,
convenience
I'm not gonna line up.
Well, a lot of people actually have recently, and it was all for a can of Highball.
A can of Highball?
Yes.
No, I heard about this.
Yes.
I heard about this because our next door neighbor was waiting in line for this, and I was like, "What are you waiting in line for?" And she said, "For a Highball."
Yes.
Like, tell us about this.
So,
Like the alcoholic drink, right?
Yes. So but not just any alcohol. I don't know what your neighbor was waiting in line for.
Some
but
like G-Dragon stuff.
Yes, I'm gonna talk about that. So it's not just any alcohol. It's the second collaboration between a C convenience store in South Korea and G-Dragon's fashion label Peace Minus One. They released a limited edition red highball on May 27th, and it sold out instantly. 8,888 cans were gone in just 7 hours at a pop-up store in Olympic Park.
Yeah. So the convenience store that's located in first floor of my apartment is the C convenience store.
Yes.
And there was a lot of young people there, and in between, it was my next door neighbor, and I had no idea what they were lining. I thought it was like something like limited edition. Like I didn't think it was gonna be alcohol, but GD,
Yes.
he has star power.
Yes, definitely.
It's not just this, I guess. Like I remember when he was releasing like sneakers and stuff like
Yes.
that. It was like selling out. They're super expensive. But what makes it so special, though?
Well, above all, definitely the fact that it was a collaboration with the GD, but it was Korea's also first red wine-based highball. So it apparently has a lemony grape twist and actual lemon slices inside, which I thought was really cool.
Because they already had like the lemon slice highballs that they sold before.
Yeah, but like this was GD made, this first red wine based, and also the convenience store that the pop-up store at Olympic Park was changed into a space station, like complete with the AR spacesuit selfie zones and GD's iconic daisy crazy logos everywhere. And the drink was launched on Korea's first 우주항공의 or Aerospace Day to match the space concept.
That was not too long ago. I remember Johan was talking about that on his show.
Oh, really?
I was like, man, that's random talking about Aerospace Day, but it was on this day. Okay.
Yeah, and the first highball collaboration in April sold over 5 million cans in a month. But, it's not just GD. People are really interested in, such collaboration products sold at convenience stores these days. Have you ever bought one?
No.
You haven't, no. But you've seen some.
I've seen it. Again, remember in the opening before I was talking about some people like to wait on lines and stuff like that. I'm one of those people that don't like to wait on lines. But if there is something that's very special that comes out, I'm really tight with the convenience store lady. And so she puts one off on the side, and then she was asking me if I wanted one. And I was like,
really?
I was like, I don't want it.
Next time maybe I'll ask you.
She gave me those, what is it, the Dubai chocolate that was selling out. Everything that's selling out, she would put off one on the side.
That's cool.
But what other collaborations are there?
Well, this kind of celebrity convenience store collaboration isn't only limited to drinks or idols. The convenience store, for example, went in a completely different direction by teaming up with, guess what, star tutors.
Like the so-called 일타 강사s?
Yes. So this convenience store collaborated with top instructors known as 일타 강사, as you mentioned. English teacher 조 정식 and math teacher 정 승재 were part of the collaboration, and they released items like notebooks, sticky notes, and the triangle 삼각김밥 with motivational quotes the teachers have said in class, such as 열심히 하지 말고 그냥 하면 돼. Don't try hard, just do it.
So these two teachers are famous also because I believe they come out in a television show.
Yes,
right?
and a lot of high schoolers really like them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, they're Chung Seung-jae is really funny. That guy's a funny guy.
Oh, really? Well, imagine its popularity with students. So these tutors have massive fandoms among teens and parents alike. So the convenience store is turning study icons into lifestyle brands, selling things like. This is actually the name of the cheeseburger, Teacher's Spicy Chicken Cheeseburger, and more.
What? Teacher's Spicy Chicken Cheeseburger.
선생님의 매운 치킨 치즈버거.
And this is selling well?
It is.
Okay.
And there's more.
Okay.
Do you remember the Netflix show 흑백 요리사?
Yeah. I didn't watch it, but I know it very well.
Oh, you didn't watch it?
No.
It's very fun.
No, I heard about it. I mean, everybody was talking about it.
Even I watched it.
I mean, I met An Seung-jae, Chef An, right?
you
I mean,
mentioned
so I had to pretend I watched it when I met him, but I didn't watch it.
Yeah, well, cooking competition 흑백 요리사 also left a huge mark on convenience store culture. Right after the finale aired, both G and C convenience store launched a wave of food items inspired by contestants from the show. G convenience store had this 편수저 시리즈, meaning 편의점 수저 or convenience store.
That's what it means.
Yes.
Okay.
Featuring instant food inspired by dishes the chefs had made during the program. And I was curious and I actually tried a few.
Were you able to get the tiramisu, the chestnut?
I wasn't able to get the tiramisu because that one... C convenience store worked with winning chef Kwon Sung-jo or Napoli Mafia to create his iconic chestnut tiramisu, and that one sold out 20,000 units in just 20 minutes via pre-orders on the application. So that one is very difficult to get. Yeah,
so the convenience store lady was like, I can't put any off on the side for you. Because my kids are asking for it, my kids' friends are asking for it. I mean, it sold out really,
that one
really
was
quick.
really viral. But to be honest, I wasn't really interested in that one. I was more interested in the dishes.
I'm not a big fan of desserts. You're right, dishes. All right, well, we'll talk about collaborations with convenience store food and other drinks and so forth. But first, let's take a listen to a song here from Jang Bum-jun with convenience store girl 편의점 그녀. 편의점 그녀. We're back here in the studio with Coffee Break. Today's tidbit. We're talking about how convenience stores have been introducing these collaboration products with celebrities, right?
Yeah, but it's not just GD. Recently, a lot of convenience stores in South Korea have both jumped into the collaboration game with some major names. For example, G convenience store announced they'll be selling singer Song Si-kyung's traditional liquor brand through a limited pre-order window.
That I heard about this,
Yes.
and especially because Hung Shik-young is not only a foodie, but he's also a big time connoisseur. Like he
Yeah.
loves alcohol.
He likes pairing food with
yeah,
alcohol.
yeah. Wait, is this the one? Well, is it the makgeolli one? Who did the makgeolli
Song
one?
Shik-young also did
Song Shik-young did
makgeolli, but
makgeolli too,
apparently
right?
he's also doing this like different tradition.
Oh, he's doing.
signature.
Oh my goodness,
Yeah.
he's going round two on
Yeah.
this one. Yeah, I mean convenience stores. I mean it's a great are being great places for like celebrities to release their products. Basically.
Yes, and that's not all. You know, like random names that I wouldn't have imagined are also popping up. A singer Soyu, actor Ha Jung-woo, they are all like also releasing their own collaboration alcohols with convenience stores.
Yeah, so Ha Jung-woo, I drank his like he released what is it, the Sauvignon Blanc,
Yes, he did
which
a wine.
which yeah he did wine, right? Like he's like a big wine guy, and it was with the Seven,
Yes.
the convenience store, right? Which that's not selling, like you can still get it in a lot of places, but it's like the collaboration was that it's not that he made it himself. Like it was like an already made
I see.
wine, and then he likes to do art, right? So they just put his art
I
on the label
see.
was what it was, but that boosted the sale of that
Yeah.
wine.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, collaborate. Like, these convenience stores are, you know, on a race to bring products made together with these famous names. And, you know, consumers are saying these aren't just drinks. They're actually, like, branded experiences. And, you know, how I mentioned, like, consumers these days really like to pay for the experience,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And so the alcohol market at convenience stores is becoming more diverse, and you know, consumers now actively seek out these, you know, unique limited edition products as collectibles or for gifting.
I remember when one soju came out, you know, with the
Yes.
J Park, and it was almost
Yeah.
impossible to get it, and then every certain days you have to do the click to try to
Yeah.
get it. Now you could get it everywhere.
Like, was it worth the hype?
No, have you tried? Have you had it?
I've tried one soju because my friend bought it for me, but I don't like soju in general, so.
I like soju, but it was just. But why are convenience stores suddenly turning into lifestyle platforms? Though?
Great question. So, a recent survey showed that over 66% of Korean adults frequently use convenience stores. So, it's, you know, it's not just about accessibility, that the fact that convenience stores in South Korea are open 24/7 and, you know, literally everywhere, but it's also about how they've evolved into really trend hubs.
Yeah, so it's not just about grabbing a snack or two anymore.
Well, of course, you can still grab a
yeah,
snack and your favorite ice cream, but yeah, it's not just that. Younger generations, especially in their 20s and 30s, are increasingly treating convenience stores as places to shop for limited edition goods, fandom-related products, and trendy food items.
Yeah, I mean, they collaborate with like idols too.
Yeah.
And I mean, it sells out quick.
Yeah, and you know, recently I have actually been touring convenience stores just last night, trying to find a collaboration between. Do you remember me talking about my favorite like character these days, a dog that you said looked like it was.
Oh, the one that was giving the finger. Yeah.
Kanadi, it's doing a collaboration with C convenience store,
Oh.
and it's sold out everywhere. Like I went to 5 different C convenience stores.
What is it?
So like drinks and you know.
Oh, drinks?
Yeah, like I don't know, like milk.
Milk too?
Yeah, banana milk, but one
Let me go to it's the C one, right?
Yeah.
Let me go today and
one
see
of
what they
them
have.
has like a keyring on it.
Okay, I'll see what they have there. I'll see what they have today.
Yes, so
it is a very big convenience. It's the biggest one in all of Anyang. So let's see what they have
I am
there.
part of the statistics. And, you know, in fact, 85.6% of people in their 20s and nearly 80% of those in their 30s say they feel like convenience store products reflect current trends. I am part of this.
Yeah, again, I mean, like, I can't believe she went to 5 different ones. Although there is a lot of, like,
Yeah.
convenience stores in Korea. It's not like you have to go far away. But I'm guessing a lot of people go to, like, the specific stores to get
yes.
something exclusive. And this is, like, the battle that all the convenience stores have.
Exactly. And, you know, about 67% of consumers said they've deliberately visited a specific convenience store just to buy a product that was only sold there. And around 80% said they've encountered collaboration products in the last few months alone.
So collabs aren't just a fad then.
No, not at all. Around 45% of people believe the popularity of these items continues for a while and not just a short buzz. And many buy them out of pure curiosity, especially collaborations with games or characters.
Yeah, I mean, like back before, I used to be, big fan of the Doosan Bears, and then I remember they have released some stuff, and I would buy everything from one convenience store and then go over to the next one and try to buy all of them and then give it out to like fellow fans. I remember like it was a big thing. Like they also collaborate with
I think they still
teams.
have. I just saw one yesterday.
No one's buying it.
Why not?
No, I saw it too. Like the Doosan Bears one,
Oh,
right?
it's because they're doing so bad.
Yeah, no one's buying it. It's like it's on sale now. It's like, please take these. Back when I was rooting for them, they were really good, and so like they were popular. So what kind of collabs are people hoping to see next then?
The top requests were with animated characters and local foods. People want both nostalgia and regional pride, and there's a growing demand for playful designs and familiar tastes from childhood repackaged, so it's like collaborated.
I'm telling you, you just gotta keep going Pokemon. Everybody loves Pokemon. Kids love Pokemon. Adults love Pokemon. And you just gotta go Pokemon. But convenience stores has become just more than convenient.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's now a brand playground, a trend incubator, and a reflection of modern consumer culture all in one. And, whether it's G-Dragon's Highball, a Math Tutor's Cheeseburger, or Hajong's Wine, convenience stores are proving that even small shelves can hold big cultural moments in South Korea right now.
That's right. And you know what the best part is? Like, some of them are actually really legitimately good.
Yes.
Like, it's not just the marketing. Like, it's good.
Yeah.
It really is. Like, Hajong's Wine, it's pretty good. Angela, thank you so much for your tidbit today. We're going to be enjoying Kai's A-Up in just a bit before we wrap up the first hour, hopefully. But have a fantastic weekend. We'll see you again next week.
See you next week.
All right, sending her out of the studio. Let's take a listen to a song here from